Well, folks, Donald Trump has announced that he has trade deals, right? We're just a few, really, hours almost away from his deadline of August 1st. Didn't think he was going to do it, but by God, the SOB got some trade deals done for America. 4 days ago, they announced we got a trade deal with Japan. Big trade deal, right? Then, of course, over the weekend, we got a trade deal with the European Union. So he's got reasons to celebrate. All the media outlets talking about this is a win for Trump. It's a win for Trump. The problem is, none of that is true. I was shocked. I spent the weekend, I spent Monday reading article after article after article from mainstream outlets, trying to find a very obvious fact that I immediately looked up over this weekend. Most of them didn't have it, and those that didn't mention it in a negative light. And it's this. Donald Trump announced that as part of the framework, not a finalized deal, by the way, it's just a framework. Same thing with Japan. It's a framework. So technically, there's still no deals. But, that aside, the media didn't talk about that either. That aside, the deal with the European Union, of course, sets a firm tariff in place of 15%. Tariffs on other items are actually a little higher than that, like steel, vital to American production. But, nevertheless, we got a 15% tariff. The tariff rate, the average tariff rate on goods coming from the European Union to the United States last year was 1.42%. 1.42% is what we were paying last year. And this year, Donald Trump, after meddling with it, comes out and says, I got it down to 15. No, you dumb shit. You bumped it up to 15. You literally went around the world making these so-called deals. And by the way, it's the same thing with Japan. And you made it worse. You cemented the tariffs higher, which are costs that us consumers in America will pay. We only had a 1.42% markup on goods last year. Now it's going to be a 15% markup. You will lose money. I will lose money. We will all lose money on this deal that Trump made for a problem he created that didn't previously exist. These are the worst possible things that Donald Trump could do, and the media's out there again telling us, oh, this is a good thing for Trump. It's a feather in his cap. He made it worse. He made things more expensive for us intentionally. We would have been better off if on the issue of trade, he literally just did nothing from day one. If he just said, whatever, it is what it is, we'd be in a better situation today than we currently are with his new deals. We're the ones who get screwed here because the tariff rate is going from 1.42% to 15%. And I'm going to tell you something absolutely shocking here. I did see one mainstream media outlet accurately report this and talk about how bad it is for American consumers. It was not MSNBC. It was not CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS. No. It was Fox News. Fox News, of all places, had on their business analyst on Monday who came out and said, this is a very bad deal for American consumers. We will pay more. Fox was the only one that did it. At least that I saw, at least that was reported. Maybe you saw something else. I hope you did. I hope other outlets that I wasn't paying attention to were talking about this, because these are not deals that anyone should be proud of, but it is now what we're going to be stuck with. And here's where it gets more interesting, because you may be thinking to yourself, but Farron, Donald Trump says he secured hundreds of billions of dollars in investments for the United States. That's going to do well. Trump says it's going to create hundreds of thousands of new jobs. Point to one time while this man has been president that he said something was going to create jobs and it actually created jobs. Point to one. You can't, because it's never happened. Point to any other instance where this man has said, I've gotten this country to agree to billions of investments in the United States. He's said it multiple times. It's happened in reality. 0 times. And let's assume, for the sake of argument here, that Trump is being honest and that these countries did agree to it because Brussels, according to Trump, said they would. So Brussels is going to be spending, $750 billion over the next 3 years. That's a lot. So what are they spending $750 billion on? Oil and gas and military equipment. Oil and gas and military equipment. Guess what, folks? That's not going to boost the economy. That's not going to create more jobs. In fact, the oil and gas sector here in the United States for the last several months, as I've discussed, has been shutting down dozens and dozens of wells because they have too much oil and gas. If we put too much out on the market, the prices will drop and we can't have that. So they've also laid off people. So if Brussels does follow through and over the next 3 years they start buying this stuff from us, all it's going to do is bring back the jobs that were just cut. These aren't new jobs. It's not new expansion. It's just firing up old wells and bringing back the people that used to work on them. So putting us back to the status quo, not creating anything new. As for the, we're going to purchase missiles and military equipment, I'm sure you are. And that's going to help the military industrial complex. That's going to pad the bottom lines of Boeing and Lockheed Martin. But it's not going to create new jobs, at least not hundreds of thousands of them, maybe a couple hundred. And that's it. So he got these countries to agree to buy or create more pollution and more death and destruction, while us consumers can look forward to paying 15% more on anything that came from Europe or is made with parts that came from Europe. So yeah, these deals are far worse than if he had just left the issue of trade alone from the start. Did you know that you might be missing out on wonderful content from me? I mean, you're here already because clearly you like what you see. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share them with your friends and family, but also follow me across the rest of the social media world. And it's not that hard to do. Whether it's X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, on every one of those platforms, you can find me at the username @FarronBalanced. Simple enough, right? So get on it. And if you don't feel like going to each one of those outlets individually, lucky for you, we have links in the description of this video to take you right to my pages across all of social media. So don't miss a minute. And while you're at it, make sure you're also subscribed to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel, which I have been hosting for many, many years now. We've got more than 1 million subscribers over there, and there is fresh content over there every single day of the week. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, go subscribe to Ring of Fire at youtube.com/The Ring of Fire and @FarronBalanced across every social media platform. That, of course, is not considered just a far-right hellscape. Well, maybe Twitter is, but that's a story for a different day.